What up, YouTube? It's your boy Banks, and we back in the building. You feel me? It's True Talks, cause True Talks. All right, let's get straight right into it. So we're gonna be talking about two things in this video right now, yo. First, we're gonna talk about before we even talk about the trade. Actually, we're gonna talk about the trade. Let's talk about the trade first. We're gonna talk about Dennis Schroeder and the trade. I know y'all wanted to hear about Dennis Schroeder from time because he killed, with Germany, averaging whatever he was averaging. I think it was like 17 and 9 or whatever it was, 16 and 9, something like that. And he was hooping. He was hooping for real, running PG in the clutch, doing step backs, like literally ball handling, play initiating, running real PG, as if y'all didn't know he could do this like he did in Atlanta. Y'all just been seeing him with Braun, and Braun be killing man's careers and be killing how man's plays because he wants to hold the ball as the big man or as a power forward, small forward who should be playing off the ball, and he wants to hold the ball, make point guards have to play off the ball when their skill set isn't that, and now they look weaker than they do or when they are. But then you see Dennis Schroeder literally with the same team. He looked not the greatest with the Lakers. In the same year, couple months later, he looks like a complete different guy with Germany. What are we talking about, yo? Come on now. Anyways, let's go straight right into it. Let's go into that context. Let's give it that context. Let's go, boy. So, anyways, we know that what just happened was, Damian Lillard got traded to the Milwaukee Bucks in a 3-team trade with the Blazers, the Bucks, and the Suns. That were the last team in the package, and they made that trade possible. But obviously, leading up to that, there was a lot of talk and a lot of, it was coming out with reports and, that Masai was involved in this 3-team trade. People thought that the Damian was coming to the Raptors, and they thought that was going to be the new scenario for him because the Raptors have the assets, the Raptors have the capital, and they have the pieces that they could flip in order to get a guy like Dame. It's not based off the exact talent. When you're trading for a guy like Dame, you're not going to get the exact talent. You have to go off the potential. It's about potential and just a plethora of guys who have potential to match up for that in the future. It's not about the now. You're not going to get who's going to flip a KD for an elite guy. Like, that doesn't even make sense. Sorry about that. That doesn't make sense. For the most part, if you look at it, my fault, y'all. If you look at it with the KD trade, same thing. They got Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, guys with potential. Mikal Bridges is literally, in their minds, could be a poor man's KD, whatever in that realm because of how he plays. He just hasn't been able to play and showcase that way with the Suns. But when Chris Paul and D-Book was injured, you see what Mikal was doing. So based off of that, you can kind of see the play, which is why that trade made sense for that time. If Mikal never had Book or them injured, you might not see Mikal in that way. You have to have a guy who's, behind the scenes that literally could see, okay, and not only that, remember too, it's just the games is the games, but you can see how man's is shooting before the games. You can see how man's is practicing in practice. Like, you could see who man's could be. The game is a different play. But when you look at their skill set outside of the game, okay, clearly this man has this ability. He's just not allowed to do that here. So if he's over here, we know what he could be. Like, you know what I mean? This is like when you're tapped in or when you're you got to think from a players and just perspective, like what's really going on. We just see the games from the game starts at 7:30 and whenever it ends. You don't see behind the scene. Like, we're starting to see more of that now, but you got to understand, only if you hoop and you really been around and you really hoop, you can understand how shit goes. Mans kill each other in practice. How, like, you can tell this man is him in practice. Let him be himself over there. Now he's, it's like basketball is deeper than just what you see from a simple eye. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at it from that perspective, obviously when it comes down to the Dame trade, Raptors had guys like that. Pascal already, he has been all NBA. You've seen what he is. And obviously at the time, and maybe they might not want him fully. I know that they probably wanted OG because you look at OG has showed how much improvement he's already done with the Raptors in a scenario where he doesn't get the rock as much. Pascal's the one running downhill. Also was Fred a lot, and then sometimes Trent. Then you have Scottie a lot. So OG gets on the back burner. But when Pascal's injured, you see how OG really operates. And his defensive capability is a 3-and-D guy, but he's more than a 3-and-D. He's very similar to Jeremy Grant, where they started off as 3-and-D, but they're more than 3-and-D. They have a bag. They're just not able to use it. When you give them the light to use it, you see how Jeremy Grant is never the same player that he used to be now with the Nuggets. He literally is now established as he's a two-way guy now. Two-way means is you're a creator and you're a defender. 3-and-D is literally just you're a defender, but you're literally spot up to catch and shoot. You have no other bag outside of that, like a Finney Smith and stuff like that. They're not that. OG is not that. OG is more than a 3-and-D guy. He's literally a two-way guy, like a poor man's Kawhi type of stuff. But who knows what he would really be if he's enabled and given the opportunity in the green light to really be that, and given the play sets to have the ball more and do more. So Portland could see that. Other guys could see that. So Portland probably wanted OG at a high level. Like they probably, out of all guys for the future, when you match him up with like, especially his age and whatever, and you match him up with Shaden, Anthony, and Scoot, you been bringing OG and with Jeremy. Come on, fam. What are we talking about? So the Blazers were probably high on doing this, and I could tell that it was Masai more so like, no, I don't want to pull the trigger. It's always Masai saying, no, I don't want to pull the trigger, which is why I like, I like Masai because, again, he has that. Masai is, especially as someone who is Nigerian as well too, y'all don't know, but I am. I know from his mindset, it's more so he's always at a crossroads where he's trying to put on his African brothers. You get what I'm saying? He's trying to put them on, and he has a more emotional attachment, and a more biased attachment towards these guys. Hence why he didn't do the Kawhi. Kawhi would say, if you did the Russell Westbrook PG trade, just sign off on Pascal and OG, let them go. He said no. Because in his mind, I can envision if I could get these guys to be here, and we could still win with these guys. I could see them being here. But they can't get there with the certain things they're with at right now. They could get there. You have to let one of them go. Pascal has to go, and OG could get there. Or let OG go, and he could get there, and Pascal, you know what I mean? You have to be able to see that, but he wants to have that umbrella under him and still have, like, I could see it's more than just basketball for him. And I could see that. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's great because you want to put people on. You want your country and just people from your realm and from your background to, like, you want to be loyal to them and put them on, similar to, like, Bron putting on his boys. It's that type of energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you rather, even though you could get a better guy, but I rather make this guy the better guy. That means more to me than me just getting the better guy and the team winning. I want to win with this team, with these guys. That's what I envision. So I'm trying to make it work with these guys. Every time he's still, again, has a loyalty, and his job is to make the team better. So he's still always going to, it's Masai. He's still going to have interest. He's cut from a different cloth. So he's still going to have interest in terms of, like, okay, I want OG and Pascal. I want to work with them. But if they're sussing and Pascal's sussing, damn, like, I have to look into what people are offering to see if I could get a better deal and make this team good. He still has that part of him where he's not going to leave that and just rock with this team. That's it. No. He's still going to look into things, and that's why every trade that comes up, every guy that becomes available, you hear the Raptors are thrown into it, because Masai is always looking at, it's the same way he did the DeRozan trade. Like, I'm going to always look to making the guys better regardless of feelings, regardless of anything. I'm going to make the team better. Like, I'm loyalty to that, and that's how I viewed it. Like, that's my job. You get what I'm saying? So, like, he's always going to do that. But when he's doing that and now they say, we want OG, he's now cut with a crossroads at that moment, right? Masai's presented with a crossroads. Oh, we want Pascal. He presented with a crossroad. Like, do I really let go of this guy? Or do I know that we could win with this guy. I know that this guy could be way better. I just have to, do I really do that for this? Like, he's always in that. Then he goes, no, I don't want to. Like, he always wants to, but then at the last minute, it's like, nah, I don't want to. Like, no, I can't do it. And that's what comes down to it. Because guys know that the guys that he has and the guys that he wants to be elite, other people see them as being elite in my scenario. Let him bring OG here, and he'll be an OG that you have never seen before. That's what people are thinking. So when you look at it from that perspective, like, you got to understand that Masai is literally sussing deals because of his deeper connection and the deeper things that he wants to happen. Like, he wants his African brothers to be elite. Like, he's doing African borders. He's doing a lot of different things, right? And, like, he's doing certain things. So when you look at it from that perspective, like, it's unfortunate that he's at a battle. He's at a battle every day, probably. Like, I know he's probably kicking himself on certain deals, and he knows he's not dumb. Like, Masai is him. He knows, but it's just like, dog, can I really do that? It's like if your boys is like, you want to go a professional route, but your boys are trying to be like, has the same skill set, but you're trying to get your boys to be that professional guy. And my vision is, if all my boys, if we all lock in, we could all be here. And then sometimes they're not there, and it's like, damn, I need to get there, so I need to go this direction. I need to choose the professional guy. Like, you're always at that crossroad, and some mans make the decision to go this route. Some mans just stay here and just keep pushing, but they might not ever get here. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's the battle that Masai is going through. I could see it. I could smell it from a mile away. So when I look at it, I don't get too mad at him not doing it. I do get mad in moments. It's like, God damn you, dog, let OG go. This Dame. What are we talking about? Let Pascal go. It's Dame. Let Pascal go. It's whoever. Like, you know what I mean? But he's not doing it. So I'm not fully mad at him. Like I said, it's just, I'm just going to call it what it is. It's not that because y'all think that Masai not doing it, he's using the IQ thing. Masai not doing it is not the IQ thing. It's just more so for him. He's not able to do certain things. It's the same thing with Lowry. Like, he already did the DeRozan trade because DeRozan was just despicable in terms of like what he would like. The fact for you to be the best player on the team and not being able to be played in a big game in the fourth quarter by Dwayne Casey is because you're literally a shell of yourself. You're literally palm sweaty. Like, why are you out here? You're literally a liability at this point being out there. So I'm pulling you. For a man to pull a starter, the best man on the team, to not play, like, that's literally like you have to really look in the mirror at that point. So when DeRozan was going through that, he's like, what Kawhi could get, like, I'm gonna flip him. That's light work. Like, there's different, like, I'm taking Kawhi. Forget my feelings, Toronto. I don't care about none of that. But then now when it came to Lowry, he should have moved Lowry way earlier to get different pieces, and he didn't because Lowry won the ring, and like it was more sentimental. So he, Masai has morals. People think he doesn't. He's just his morals don't need to be applied in certain scenarios because it's literally like, dog, you're sussing, move, DeRozan. Like, it's unfortunate. Yes, you've been the face of whatever, but like, we need to get a ring. Like, it's not about you. Move. This play right here is guaranteed chip. I could see it with Kawhi. Move. We ought to move him. But with Lowry, it's like, we already won the chip. I don't have to be cutthroat like that. Lowry, however you want to leave, you leave. We want to keep you. You earned it. The Lowry treatment is what DeRozan wanted, right? But it's different scenarios, different contexts. So Masai now is like, he has that attachment. Sorry, y'all. He has that attachment to these African brothers, and he's supposed to, because that's what he's cut from. Other mans do that. Other people do that. You see white people do that. You see other people do that all the time. The Jews do that. Like, they have their kind of allegiances, and they don't want to let that go, They don't want to let that go because they see the play from their perspective. So I'm not mad at Masai. I'm not. But it's just that the fans don't look at what he's doing as, yo, Masai's using the IQ. He knows he's not using IQ right now. It's different things he's using. He cares about other things right now. So that's how I see it. I could be wrong. Remember, I'm just looking from my perspective. Not my perspective. I'm just analyzing the tea leaves. And based off of that, this has to be the way he's going, because there's no way. The game is the game. The IQ says flip OG for Dame. What are we talking about? Especially when you just lost Freddie. You know what Dame. Come on now. Flip Pascal and OG for Westbrook, PG, and Kawhi. What are we talking about? And it's funny. Now it's Westbrook, PG, and Kawhi somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? It's like, clearly the pairing wasn't the problem, because literally they paired together somewhere else at different times, and Westbrook was even more menace and more like, he didn't get demoralized from that Bron situation. So even back then, it was even more reckless where you should have done it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, dog, the time will always tell, and time will always tell, because sometimes injuries happen and it goes a different route than what it should go. But the game will always tell, and the IQ will always tell you what is supposed to be done. It's just whether you are going to be adhered to the IQ or see it from the IQ perspective. And obviously, Masai is not using IQ, because the fact that he's even looking, how you know it's IQ, the fact that he's even, if it wasn't IQ, he wouldn't even attend or look at these trade options anyways. But the fact that Dame is available and they know that they want OG and he's looking into it and like, okay, and it's because it's the IQ play. But he stops himself when it's not, and you see the reports coming out, Masai's like doing it, and he stops, and he doesn't even let mans even have to get another, because when they say they want OG, he doesn't even let mans have to get a rebuttal out. He literally he just cancels, and that's what you could see. That's the reports coming out. It doesn't mean it's true or not, but you could tell, because you always hear Raptors, and never a deal is done. Why? Sometimes it's those guys don't want what you're offering, and Masai's trying to sneak in though. Let me get Pascal for this guy. They don't want Pascal like that, so no. They want Scotty. Oh, no, I'm not giving Scotty for KD. No, there's no way. He's the future. You know what I'm saying? Because he knows eventually Pascal going to leave and Scotty's going to beat that. He knows. So it's just for, at this point, like, you could smell it, what's happening with Masai. So I just want to let y'all know, like, stop getting finessed and be like, yo, Masai did the right thing. Like, don't do that. He did not do the right thing. I've been telling y'all from time that Masai is literally just don't want to let go of these guys. He's using no IQ, and he's just literally emotionally tied with these guys. Like, I've been telling y'all from time. From time I've been saying this. And now finally y'all are late to the party, and now y'all are now seeing it. And that's why when True talks, you listen, yo. I'll call things out that might be 4 years earlier than most men will say. I just say it because once my mind sees it, I say it. And then y'all will see 3 years later that, and this, you know what I mean? Like, that's the trend. That's the trend with Banks. So that's why you got to spread the word. And when True talks, you listen. You know what I mean? You could get in an argument with me. And when you say certain things, now I can be, oh, that's what you're thinking. No, and I can answer it. Doesn't mean I'm always right. It's just at the end of the day, look at the game. The game is telling you who's right. The game is telling you what's right. It's not me. I'm just reading it. It's like it's like, imagine you have a test, and then at the back of the book, there literally is all the answers. Y'all just aren't looking at the back of the book. I'm just looking at the back of the book. You know what I'm saying? Like, the answers are there. The game has all the answers. Y'all just have to look at it. It's right there for you. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at it from that perspective, Masai, get it together, fam. I'm not fully mad. Like, I know what you're doing, my guy. I know what you're doing, yo. But come on, yo. Come on. Dame in Toronto, that's a different light, yo. Anyways, it worked out how it was supposed to work out because, honestly, imagine Dame with Scottie. It's the same version of Dame with Giannis. Is similar, but Scottie can't be Giannis level because Pascal's hindering him. But if you flip Pascal through him, or even if you have to lose OG, I know you don't want to, but even if you have to lose OG, lose that. Because you could get a 3-and-D guy. Like, you can get guys. They might not be OG's level, but you can get guys. You might not need OG to be the shot creator version. You know what I mean? Like, you could get guys. You could find other ways. There's other ways. But again, he's tied to those guys. So I get it. And it's unfortunate. So in the same breath, we're going to talk about Dennis Schroeder quickly because I don't want to make this video too long because, man is out here. But Dennis Schroeder literally is someone who, like, based off of what you just saw with Germany, there's no way Pascal should be running the one. That shit that he did with Freddie, like, again, y'all be thinking I'm bashing Pascal. It's not. Forget Pascal. I'm not even talking about, this is not Pascal. Pascal's doing what he wants, or Nurse allowed him to do that. Forget that. I'm talking about this new coach. I'm talking about this news. I'm talking to the fans strictly. Forget whatever. Y'all be over boosting certain mans and be over boosting certain things. And I try to make y'all rate everything accordingly. That's what it's about. It's being truthful to the game, being authentic to the game. Pascal is literally not a one guy. He's not a point guard type of guy to run he got better at it and he's doing it. But when he's getting better at it, the team gets sussed. The team is sacrificed by Pascal being individually great does not mesh with the team being individually great because of how his skill set is. The only way Pascal's individual greatness and getting better at passing and getting better at his game and buckets and everything will coincide and coexist and correlate with the team getting great is if he's in a Giannis scenario where you have 5 shooters and the floor is spaced out and now he could be that. When you don't have that, Pascal being great is not going to make the team being great. Pascal being great is actually opposite from what the team needs. And that's what I'm trying to tell y'all. And y'all don't understand these things. And y'all be coming at me and whatever. But I keep telling y'all, and y'all keep seeing, why is the Raptors not in the playoffs? Why, playing, not even in the play-in, or bashing, or losing in the play-in, or whatever? Like, this is the road they've been from what they were, and this is what they is now. It's not because that they don't have the talent. It's because of the way the system is being used and how certain mans are being designed to how certain mans are designed to being used. Meaning, Freddie is supposed to be having the ball handle and let Pascal play off the ball and set screens with this personnel. You have Perdo, who's an inside big. You have Pascal, who doesn't shoot the 3 that great. You have Scottie, who doesn't shoot the 3 that great. So you have 3 non-shooters in the game, and you have Freddie and Trent, or Freddie and OG on the court. And you want to have Pascal to be the ball handler and make Fred and OG and Fred and Trent be spot-up guys, so then they can just help off Scott. Like, what are you talking about? It should be those guys creating, and even if they help off those guys can cut, they could do certain things. They can't be ball handling or switch the lineup around. You have to maneuver differently depending on your personnel. That's what KYP is. Know your personnel. You get what I'm saying? Like, you got to do that. You got to adjust. Nurse didn't adjust. He's running the same thing he could run when he had Ibaka and Gasol as shooting bigs. Yes, Pascal could run downhill and be the primary facilitator and ball handler because Ibaka is at the 3-point line and Gasol's at the 3-point line. So he's the whole paint. Ever since those guys was gone, that's why I said that's why Pascal's game got affected drastically in terms of the team. He can't operate like that anymore. So now he's going to get canceled in certain moments. They could double. They could help. They could, he's not going to cook like that in the clutch. Why? That's why you see Scottie trying to go to work and he's still snapping, and even though he shouldn't be. But the ball should be in the creator's hands. OG, Fred, Trent, and more. That's how the game should have been played, but obviously not. So when you look at it from that perspective, it's just about rating everything accordingly. And when you look at it, Schroeder killing as a main PG to get the ring, to win the medal, and to be the FIBA MVP while running the one, making all the decisions, the clutch, doing all of that. And y'all have the audacity to now still make Pascal the PG after you just saw what Schroeder did. this is going to really expose who is what and what is what. Because there's no way Schroeder shouldn't be ball handling and coming on the court and doing what he do like he just did with Germany and them. But then again, how could he do that when he's a better shooter than Scotty? He's a better shooter than Pascal. So he has to play off the ball. He has to sacrifice. And that's why I'm like, the shooter you're going to see in Germany, the shooter you saw in Germany is probably not the shooter you're going to see with the Raptors. So y'all have to get that out your mind from now. Get that out your mind from now. He's going to be very similar to what Fred was doing. So if now Schroeder is sussing and his percentages and he's not killing the same way he's killing, don't blame Schroeder. Don't come, oh my God, Schroeder's a shell of himself. What's wrong with him? Like, don't attack him. He can't be who he's supposed to be because of the skill set I had. That's why I said I was never a fan of the Schroeder pickup, because unless you move one of these guys, Scotty or Pascal, unless you move one of them, all these point guards, all these guys cannot be who they're supposed to be. They're going to have to spot it because you have 3 non-shooters. It's the same roster. It's the same shit. You have to move one of them. I've been telling y'all from time, and now finally y'all are coming to the table. You're seeing reports now and news, and some of y'all guys are now saying, "Oh yeah, they have to make one of these trades. They have to get one of these guys. They have to get rid of one of them." Now you're on the bandwagon. I've been saying this from years. I said they should have never drafted Scotty if you're gonna keep Pascal, or if you draft Scotty, you better move Pascal. I said these from time. They're the same clash. It's the same skill set. It's literally Russ and Braun. At some point, you have to move on. It's the same skill set. It doesn't matter who's better or not. It don't matter. I don't care about none of that. It's the same clash. Their strengths are the same. Their weaknesses are the same. They're the same nigga. You can't operate like that in this NBA. No. Unless one guy gets better at the opposite. If Scotty goes, I'm going to get better as a shooter, then maybe it could work. If Pascal goes, I'm going to get better as a shooter, then maybe it could work. But if you guys are the same guys and you are who you are, and that's the thing. You could want to get better at so many things all day, every day. You could even practice. You could be 100% in practice. In the games, if you're not comfortable and you don't have that touch, it will escape you. You can practice everything all day, every day. It's like a killer. You can practice going to the gun range. You practice all of that. But when you're now in the heat of the moment in the battle, do you have the mindset to apply that? That's just a character makeup. That has nothing to do with skill. And that's where Pascal his character is, I'm going to be in my strength, and that's it. That's all I'm comfortable in. We've seen it, which is why with Kawhi, he was able to be himself and be elite in that role. But when push came to shove, the same guy who's shooting and catching and shooting, the same guy, now that they put Embiid on him, and now it's a tougher series, now Pascal was a shell of himself, and now Kawhi has to shoot 40 fucking shots. That's what I'm talking about. Pascal, even in his strength, or even in what he was doing, when his push pressure comes, the paint is what he loves. That's what he's comfortable at. That's just who he is at his core. You get what I'm saying? So that's where I'm like, okay, you just have to move one. And Schroeder, you're going to see, like, Schroeder is nice. Schroeder, I've always thought was nice from Atlanta. I always thought he was good. I always thought he could be even a better version of himself when he gets better and his shot becomes more. I always thought that what you saw with Braun was never what he was supposed to be, which is why he betted on himself. You can understand now, oh my God, Schroeder was dumb for not locking in with the Lakers. He didn't want to. This is what people don't understand. Forget the money, which is why he's comfortable. Yes, he lost the money, but he doesn't care about the money. If he's locked into that deal with the Lakers, this is what happens, the Corey Joseph route. This is the certain man's route, where when you lock in and buy into that role, it doesn't mean that you wanted to do it. But if you do it for the money, the league will see you in that role. When they see you in that role for 3 years, 4 years, and they see you excel in that role and be good in that role, you now, other teams and other GMs now want you for that role. So now you become that role. You become the Danny Green. You become this role player. You know, the JJ Redick. You become that role player, whoever that you were in and you bought into. Some niggas didn't have the luxury to be outside that role, so they had to buy into that role, and then they just live that life, like Pat Bev, etc. But certain mans, when you've been not that role and you've been successful, and you've been with Atlanta, you've been not that role, you went somewhere else, and obviously now you have to buy into a different role. If you successfully signed a deal in that role, you get that bread, especially getting that amount of bread in that role, you're now going to become and be known for, okay, he's just an elite guy in that role. We're paying him for that role. Now moving forward, as you get older, if you're stuck in that role for a longer term, now other guys, the next contract, they're not gonna sign you to be back in the old Atlanta role for Schroeder. No, they're gonna sign him as that off the ball, play defense, Pat Bev, just a better version, a bit offensively, a little bit role. And he doesn't want to be that. He wants to be a PG who he's supposed to be. Kyrie left Braun to be the PG who he's supposed to be. So I'm not buying that role. I'm not signing into that deal. No, I'm betting on myself. Doesn't mean he's ever going to get that same amount of contract back. But if he gets a different role, mans will be okay with certain bread, but they want, at the end, if you love hoop, It's not about the bread. It's about my role in establishing myself. Like certain conversations Corey Joseph could never have with certain mans in the barbershop when they're talking. He never had a 30-point off step backs. He never had certain, he can never say certain things. Even if he has lived that life when he was at Pickering and when he was doing, you know what I mean? He can never say certain things in terms of NBA life. He can't. Where Brandon Jennings, no matter what you say about him, I had 55. So now you can't talk to me with certain energy. Now I can tell you it was politics there. If I had 55 over here, obviously when I'm over here and I'm playing a certain role, dog, it's politics. Like he could get that off. Certain mans can't because you bought into, you're a role player. You're a role player for your whole life. Doesn't matter what you did to get there. We don't care about that. When you was here, you never dropped 55 in the league. You never dropped 30. You never dropped 35. You never had to get buckets consistently. PNR run the PG. Like, you never did that. You were playing a role. System guy. You bought in, pass, go to the corner. Like you're playing the role. You were just a dot on the chart. When they doing it, yo, you're gonna pass and you're gonna go to the corner. You were just a guy. You were just a guy. You know what I'm saying? So like when you look at it from that perspective, like some guys don't want to buy into that contract because they know what it means. Like it's a different life. I'm telling y'all something. It's not a opinion. I'm telling y'all something. You know what I'm saying? You hear? You heard? I'm telling y'all something. So Schroeder, don't be like the masses. And if I'm warning y'all now, with this current construct of a roster, Dennis Schroeder might not be the guy you saw in Germany. In fact, it's the chances of him being the guy you saw in Germany is very slim. He's probably going to be similar to what Freddie was and similar to what he was doing in LA because of what he's playing with. But he knows Schroeder's like, I just want to be free from whatever I was in there because I want to get closer to what I was able to get to in Atlanta. So at any point in time, you know, that's why he took Germany very seriously because I'm going to show mans. It's confidence. You know what I'm saying? So now it's just, you know, Schroeder is just, he now, once he showed mans, no man could come to him and tell him anything. If it doesn't go well with the Raptors or if, you know, because they're going to like, come on now, you can't make Schroeder just a spot up guy. So when you look at it from that perspective, honestly, like, I know Raptors fans, you wanted to hear something else. You wanted to hear something else, maybe whatever. But I'm telling y'all something like that. Don't get finessed and don't be bashing. Don't turn on Schroeder like how you guys turned on Freddie because Freddie, again, his game changed. Yes, you might see him chucking shots. You might see whatever, but his rhythm changed based off of the play style because Pascal was the play initiator for the most part. Freddie's even setting Pascal screens. Are you serious right now? You have the pinch guy setting Pascal a screen. He can't get a buck off his own. And you don't have him setting a screen with a big. Why? Because, no, we need a shooter to set him a screen. So then he gets a mismatch. Like, they're trying to finesse. Like, come on now, yo. I see the game differently than y'all. So, like, it's just, you know. It's true talks because true talks. Like, we'll see how it transpires. But at the end of the day, I told y'all, the Raptors will always be in the same position and the same shit until they make a move between Scottie and Pascal. They have to choose one. And until they choose one, it's going to be up and down. Some games you're going to feel like they're a contender. Some games you're going to feel like they're just atrocious in their ass. It's going to be like that all the time until they move one. And it's even worse because now your center is Jakob Poeltl, who's not even a shooter. So like it's just atrocious. It's a compilation of ass together in one team in terms of their skill sets. They're weak in all the same things. So like I've never seen any team in this league have 3 non-shooters on the court. Not even a subpar. 3 non-shooters on the court at mostly all times. You're at a disadvantage already. Like come on now, yo. So we'll see. We'll see how things transpire. It's true talks. It's true talks. Share, like, and subscribe. We out here. There's no doubt here. There's no drought here. You feel me? I appreciate y'all. You already know. Let me know what y'all think. Sorry, I apologize. Schroeder is nice, yo. Schroeder is nice. Don't get it twisted. But situations are everything, yo. Situations are everything. That's what I try to tell y'all. Situations are everything. So we'll see how everything moves. Again, click that notification button so you know when I'm here. Because I'm here. You feel me? I appreciate y'all. You already know. Spread the word. You heard? I'm coming back. We gearing up. We gearing up. Y'all know. We out here. You feel me? Let's go. Spread the word, boy. And I'm out, man.